bending it, you're simply allowing it to conform to the angle of the pull. While these rings are a very simple and clean and small design, you may question their strength. This ring is capable of 4,000 pounds vertical loading, meaning straight out from the track. Now that does assume that the track is fastened every 2 inches. In our truck systems, it's typically a 10 to 12 inch spacing. You can still achieve about 2,000 pounds holding strength. That is certainly enough to literally peel the bedsides right off of this truck. So while it looks clean and very simple and doesn't look like it could be very strong, it certainly is. Anything the truck is capable of hauling in the bed, this system can tie down. This is the contents of the Versati 4-pack. We provide 4 anchor plates, 4 backing plates, 4 of the single stud load rings, and all the stainless attachment hardware. This kit can be used in a variety of locations. Typically, the 4 corners of a floor of a pickup bed is a great choice, and this ring is the same ring that works with the track system that we provide as part of our pickup truck kit. Backing plate's designed to go underneath the mounting surface. It's a stainless slug with PEM nuts built right in, so there's no need to fumble with nuts and washers as you're crawling around underneath the truck. Simply drill 2 1/4-inch holes in the suitable location. Of course, this again is underneath the truck. The anchor plate goes on top of it, and the fasteners simply thread right into the anchor plate. Tightening those down evenly. Once that is tight, you're now ready to snap the anchor plate or the single stud ring into it. This ring swivels as well as folds, so unlike an eye bolt, it's just conforming to the angle of pull rather than bending the bolt. Rear corner of this pickup bed would be a natural spot to locate one of these anchor plates. Something to keep in mind is to be outboard of your fender wells so that you can still easily slide up to 4 foot wide material in and out of the truck bed. This is very unobtrusive. It sticks up about as high as the bed rails do in the truck bed. So with the ring removed, you can easily slide items right over the top if necessary. Make sure and check your interference points beneath the bed to make sure there are no fuel lines, wiring harnesses, anything in the way that prevents you from putting the backing plate on the underside. Once that position is determined, drill 2 1/4-inch fastener, 2 1/4-inch holes through the floor of the bed. Place the backing plate on from the underside, put the fasteners in it, and tighten everything evenly. The corner of a pickup bed represents a very typical place to mount one of these anchor plate assemblies. This enables you to steal the ring off of the rail. The same ring that we use with our truck system rail can be utilized to snap into the anchor plate on the floor. There are a lot of loads that you haul in a pickup that really don't make sense to tie high on the rail. For instance, if you had a short stack of lumber in here, ideally we want to draw that lumber down to the truck's floor rather than up to the rail. This represents a great place to put this anchor plate, typically in the 4 outer corners of the bed. You can certainly go in and fill in the areas in between, maybe mount 6 or 8 in the floor. This gives you kind of the ultimate setup, whether the item that you're hauling is short or tall, skinny or wide. There's really nothing you can't tie down in this bed. A couple things to keep in mind when you're mounting the anchor plate. First of all, check beneath the truck to make sure that there aren't any interferences such as wiring harnesses, fuel lines, or areas that you simply can't get to the bottom side to mount the backing plate. The backing plate is a piece of stainless steel with PEM nuts wedged in place, so there's no fumbling with nuts and washers. You can even do this by yourself. The installation is quite simple, a couple minutes a piece literally. Little trick on the backing plate is to roll a piece of double-sided tape to hold that if you can't convince a friend to come over and give you a hand for a few minutes. So the first step is to simply locate the place for the anchor plate to be mounted. In this case, we've got it pretty well centered there. Going to drill a pilot hole about an 1/8 inch diameter and then open it up to a 1/4 inch, which is the size of the fastener provided. So with that in place, we're going to drill out the pilot hole. Notice how quickly that went through as evidence of today's thick truck floors. Another reason for the backing plate is to provide some substance there to mount to. We'll open up the other one here. Drill that through to 1/8 inch. Pull the shavings out of the way. We're going to go ahead and open it up to 1/4 inch diameter. Again, that's the size of the fasteners provided. Blow the chips out of the way. Drop the 2 screws into place, and then it's time to go underneath the truck, hold up the anchor plate. When you put that backing plate on from the bottom side, you'll want to start both fasteners and then alternate back and forth to make sure that this is being drawn up evenly. Once that's tight, just give it a good turn by hand, and that's sufficient. Here we are under the left rear corner of the Dodge pickup. This is the bottom side, obviously, of where we chose to mount that anchor plate in the corner. The 1/4 inch fasteners are passed through, and we've started them into the anchor plate. We're now going to tighten them up evenly to ensure that this backing plate is tightened evenly, and it will draw up when we're complete. It will draw up tight to the pickup bed floor. Okay, we now have the anchor plate completely tight from the top side, and you can see here how the stainless backing plate is now drawn up nice and tight, flat to the pickup box floor. Well, the corner of a pickup bed is probably the most typical location to mount an anchor plate. Use your imagination. These anchor plates are a great little item for a number of locations. The back of Jeeps, SUVs, and the cargo area they're wonderful for. Even mounting them to the piece of equipment that you might be hauling. For instance, in the industrial applications that we deal with, pumps, motors, welders, pieces of equipment that constantly need to be loaded and unloaded from a truck or trailer, keep the anchor plate in mind as a great tie-off location for those purposes as well. What we're going to show here is the installation of the optional front piece that we offer with the Versatile system. This really does a nice job of rounding out the system. It mounts on the front header panel and spans left to right. Obviously that gives you 3 pieces and virtually infinite tie-down selection. It's important to note the design of your front bed panel. There are certain manufacturers where this bed panel is tubular, which prevents you from being able to easily